All righty, what is going on, ladies and gents? Welcome back to the channel for another market update. Hope everybody had a lovely day. And with that being said, let's dive into the TA. All right, guys, another strong session we had today, and we did close out near the highs over here on SPY and QQQ with that increasing volume. Buyers are confident right now, but I am going to skip ahead to something that I think is going to mark the start of our pullback or consolidation. I am going to be bullish on this pullback. I do think it gets bought up, but I do think we have the start of consolidation or pullback coming tomorrow or Friday. Guys, this is now the first green day on VIX, the first daily close over here. That is green after 8 straight red trading sessions. That means VIX either gapped up and then closed, lower, or just headed lower throughout the session. Every single one of the last 8 trading sessions. This typically, when we start getting that first green bar after this, typically is going to mark the start of, VIX going a little bouncy action, okay? So, I'm just going to say it doesn't have to, really be the end of the world here. It doesn't mean the markets are going to fall off a cliff. I'm just pointing out that, with where things are at, I would not be surprised at all, okay, if we start that pullback or consolidation. I'm going to point out how on some of the chip stocks, we have, we're at some key spots there. At some of the big tech spots, we are at some key spots. We could very easily pull back across the board or consolidate at these spots and then continue higher afterwards, okay? But, really, VIX, daily RSI, same spot. It's been bouncing every time for the last, 20 years here. It's down at that spot. We also do have this bullish divergence going on between this point and this point down here on the daily RSI. These are things that make me believe VIX is going to be starting that bounce. We did point out in yesterday's video that we had, just been carving out these bullish divergences here on the hourly time frame. We have started seeing those play out. Okay, but we definitely do have a big fat one over here on the daily time frame. The last one we put in that looked just like this was over here. Now, this is what I'm saying over here, guys. First green session. Yes, you had a gap up on the market, it looks like, because VIX gapped down over here, but then you started that pullback. So, honestly, my two scenarios over here, if we're going to come over to SPY, or coming over to SPY, I get the wrong one there, Henry. Over here, guys, my two, preferred scenarios for tomorrow is we get a gap up, we put in a spinning top candlestick, we consolidate for most of the day, and it produces that spinning top candlestick, or maybe we put in a shooting star candlestick. I do think, a gap up is probable, or we just start going sideways like, oh, this is a perfect example. Okay, you gap up and you just put in something like that. Keep in mind, daily RSI is now overbought, so let's just reference, where that has been the case. Like over here, okay, you don't gap up, but you do end up putting that little, kind of shooting star style candlestick, and then you start trading flat. I would not be surprised if this becomes the case, guys. I really would not. But I do think that dip is going to be eaten up, okay? Or we get something like this. We just had a nice strong day there. We closed out, what is that, 0.62% on the session. Big strong day there. Maybe we gap up, putting that spinning top candlestick, and that starts our little, consolidation period there as VIX gets a bounce. Regardless, if this is looking like this, I think it's reason to, show some concern on the long side. And, hey, profit taking on things if you would be uncomfortable with these things, pulling back a bit with the gains that you're seeing right now, then I don't think it's a bad idea at all to take some off the table and, sit back, relax, and wait to see if this, what I'm talking about here ends up playing out. Okay? So there's that. I am going to point out how things are looking pretty crazy right now. We're going to start off with SPY over here, guys. Above here, we're really just going to be watching that, 610 psychological level. I got my target up there at 609, though. But, 610 psychological level, just like, QQ was going to act, was going to be attracted to that 520 level. Well, it's the same thing over here for 610, okay, on SPY. If we pull back, guys, we are going to be watching 604.32, 602.47, but ultimately the 617 level down there. Now, with how far this thing is gone now, I personally don't think we're going to see this on this pullback. So, at least not yet right here in the short term. I just don't think it pulls back that much. I think we're probably going to see the dip get eaten pretty quick with how things are looking, guys. Chips are they're about to heat up. It looks we warned you well in advance over there on SMH, and you know, with how things are looking. And guess what? They're just starting to heat up. I'm going to show you. We got Mr. AMD over there just starting. But you know, as far as SPY here goes, guys, we're watching these 3 levels right here on this pullback. That is pretty much it. As resistance, just watch that 610 psychological level. If we were to pull out some intraday levels for you, what would those be? All right, let's just put the magnet tool on right there. It's going to be 606.50. Okay. And then we got 607.13. And we got right there 607.52. And then you could just be marking out the high and watching that. Okay. So if you're an intraday trader, those are for you. You start losing right there, 605.40. Watch for the retest of 604.32. All right. Now coming over to QQQ over here. All right. Going to start on the daily time frame. Guys, I want to point out we're approaching the upper trend line. This is something we pointed out, you know, was going to be a ways earlier, which is why we were pointing out, you know, you had people calling tops in these 2 days right here. I was like, guys, all right, if people are, you know, bearish in these things, thinking we're just immediately going to be pulling back off of this, and the dip's not going to be, and you're not going to play peekaboo, all right? You play peekaboo right here. You pull back. What happened? You shot up to a new all-time high, you know, shortly after. It was pretty explosive. Well, if we pull back from right here, that's probably going to be the case. Okay, so, you know, I was saying, hey, if anyone is, you're watching anyone, listening to anyone, you're on Twitter following people, you're paying for people, okay, if they are getting bearish on these things, you got to take a step back and question their chart reading abilities, because everything was looking extremely bullish, you know, with how things were looking. And, you know, now, as you see, things are getting impulsive. Okay, you did close out with increasing volume on the session. The only thing I'm going to say is what I just pointed out on VIX. And then you're coming into this, you know, you're just going to be slamming your head right up here into the upper trend line. That is a room for concern right over there. Okay, you're going to have the 525 psychological level. If we hit that tomorrow, hit it with a gap up. Okay, if we, you know, smack our head right there at 525, I wouldn't be surprised to see that spinning top candlestick, you know, something just print like, you know, a doji, but after a gap up. That's what creates the spinning top. Okay, and that opens you up. Maybe you consolidate for ideas. Maybe you pull back. Maybe some individual tickers, you know, rally. But the indices, I think we do have a pullback probably right around the corner. Okay, but, you know, overall, guys, I'm going to show you some bullish things we got on this video. Okay, pullback on QQQ, clear as day, under 519.60. You watch 517.15, and the previous all-time high here at 515.58. That's where we're watching if this thing pulls back. Daily 9 is going to meet you halfway. It's going to be right around this level right there. So picture perfect. If we get the all-time high break and retest, that is a, you know, nice setup right there. On the upside, you just watch at 525. Okay, I do have that 526 target, but, you know, 525, that is the psychological level. There you go. IWM, guys, I was talking about how, you know, this is probably just going to be reversion to the mean down here. I still think that is the case. All right, you're finding buyers off of that daily 9. Guys, very often you'll have these runs and you will come back to these things before you have that little, you know, leg up. And here you can see you didn't make it that far on that next leg up. So if you see that happen right over here, you shoot up to new high, but you put in a, you know, nice little upper wick over there. Well, caution's on small caps because maybe it pulls back deeper. But as we can see here on the weekly time frame, the thing just played some peekaboo action over the previous all-time high. Any dip is probably to be in. Doesn't matter if it takes a few weeks, it's probably going to be eaten. But, you know, what are you watching on IWM as levels? Okay. Come down to the 15-minute time frame for that. Right over here. Seems to be getting your reactions right there. He's got one before you, you know, reclaim that level right there. You got 242.39 on the upside, and then you're really just going to still be waiting on that 243.80 level to break. If you can break it, then you probably start heading up to a new all-time high, 244.98 incoming. On the downside, 240.19, 239.24, and then, you know, under there, you can see on the daily time frame, you have nothing. This is, you know, one massive wide-body green bar. That could fade pretty quick if you lose 239.24. As you see, that's right where your buyers stepped in. You have the daily 9 sitting there, and if you pull back here, you know, this is going to act as a magnet down here, that daily 21 EMA. That's where price was supported down here. DIA, guys, you're still just kind of stuck in this consolidation, but it does look like you're probably going to, you know, go a little higher tomorrow. there's that. The only concern is what I showed you on VIX at the beginning of the video. Okay. Now we're going to move over to some nice looking charts. Okay. Tesla, guys, I do think this thing is getting ready for its next leg up. Okay. You know, it's consolidating in a bullish manner. I gave my thoughts yesterday on this. All right. If you're already in this bad boy, you know, with what just, you know, the news that came out. Okay. That's enough to make this thing consolidate or pull back here. I would say, you know, be cautious on this guy. I think there were better setups, not, you know, given that you could be focused on right now, because this thing's probably just going to keep being frustrating like Tesla does sometimes. But in the end, it's probably going to be heading up. Okay. Weekly chart, you very clearly see it. I would, you know, favor you just consolidating this thing, getting closer to price over there. But, you know, at the end of the day, you get over 361.93, probably going to have a straight shot up to 384.29. Where does that level get derived from? Right here at that high. Okay. And above there, put on that level right there, 402.67, and then 414.50 up there. Okay. Apple, I would like a pullback, but this is what I'm saying, guys. If you pull back on everything, you know, expect it to be bought. This would be a break-in high, break-in retest off the previous all-time high of 237.23 down there. You know, this is something I really hope we get a pullback here. It's going to be bought. Okay. Very likely to be bought. I can't guarantee it's going to be bought, but it is very likely to be bought between 234.73 and 237.23. Easy money opportunity right here. Easy money. Just broke out. 250 incoming. Amazon, guys, you did end up hitting our, you know, just about 220 target today. Oh, you guys see that? Focus your attention right here. You see that? 220. All right. Power of the psychological levels, guys. Broke above 215.90, previous all-time high. Ran straight to that 220 target psychological level. That's why we have the big target symbol on here. If there's actually on the focus list, you know, don't be surprised if this thing pulls back. That's what I'm saying. A lot of these things are key spots. I would favor that. And then it would be a healthy thing. And then we can continue higher. Over here on Goog, guys, above 177. It does look like this is going to be taken out tomorrow. We're probably going to head up to 180 in the short term. Above 177, you're watching 180 over here. And then, you know, I have to imagine you're probably going to run up to 183.79. And then, you know, if you could break that, you're either going to consolidate here, pull back a little, and then break it. Or, you know, if you come up and test it, you're probably just going to break it first try. Play some catch up to, you know, Apple, Amazon over there, Meta, running towards all-time highs. I imagine this guy would start running to all-time highs. I'm really liking how Google looks. Meta over here, guys. Pullback was a buying opportunity. You did not. Exactly. You didn't hit my alert down here. You just missed it. You know, did not want to pull back all the way, but I do think this thing's probably going to grind higher towards 630 and then 650. Okay. If it consolidates here, it's just, you know, creating a longer pullback buying opportunity for you. And this guy catches up to price. It's bullish on the dip, guys. That's the attitude we got towards Meta right now. Microsoft, guys, this one woke up. We pointed this out when it started waking up on this day right here. You consolidated right here at a key spot. All right, above 432.52. We need to be watching for the test of 438.50. And then after that, we have 441.85. You can very clearly see this on the weekly time frame, guys. You get above here, you have a change in structure. You were just consolidating, lower high, higher low compared to over here. It's condensing there, and it was getting ready for a move. All right, above 441.85, you have 446.75. I do have to assume this thing's probably gonna, you know, gonna be just grinding higher over here towards all-time highs. If you can get above 441.85, that is that. I'm also just gonna put this on right there. Okay, you guys can see that bad boy right there. You know, first cross here on the weekly time frame. Last one took place all the way down here. It was right there. You still went up higher the following week. All right, just like that. And you could see this one, you know, marked a big turnaround over there. Well, this thing is consolidated for a very long time, and I will not be surprised. You get the hidden bullish divergences going on here too. Okay. Higher low right there compared to, you know, what you have down over here. Well, that's your hidden bullish divergence here on the MACD. I don't really use the MACD, but I saw this one on Twitter, and I was like, well, I didn't see the MACD on Twitter for Microsoft. I saw the MACD on for NVDA, and I just put it on. I was just like, I was looking at my charts. I was like, you know, which one's are looking like we're about to start, you know, the next wave of momentum. Microsoft right there. Okay. So now we've seen that increasing volume on the day. I'm really liking Microsoft. Bullish on that pullback. Pull back into, you know, 432.52, maybe even 429.33. It's probably going to be bought. Okay. Now, SMH, guys, I look back over the past like year or so, and honestly, just, you know, more than just a year, I would just look back. You don't really see a short-term top or a top printing this like hanging man style candlestick right here, pin bar. It's the hanging man. I just don't see it. Okay. So, you know, I'm looking for this thing either to have another gap up tomorrow, or it's going to, you know, gap down and put in like a bullish engulfing candlestick, and then we continue higher. I do think this thing is going to continue higher. This kind of a crazy look. Okay. I'm really liking the look of that. NVDA over here, big boy. Guess what? Above 140.70. You had a straight shot up to 144.42. Rats if you ended up taking calls off its retest over here. I decided to grab, you know, get back in there with some shorter dated ones. And yeah, things are looking pretty juicy, guys. You know, you take out 148.50, we'll call it. You're probably going to start pushing back up to 150 and then 152.89. I'm really liking the look over here on NVIDIA. You can see the weekly chart is shaping up really nice. Really nice over there off this, you know, weekly 9. Looking nice. Okay, we could definitely see some big moves on the weekly over here, and we're only at 5%. I won't be surprised to see, you know, pull a 8 to 9% move out of this week, and then maybe next week hit highs, or pull back and then hit highs the following week or something like that. But yeah, I'm thinking chips are looking really good right now, guys. Avgo, it didn't surprise me that you pulled back from our 173.37 level right there. You had the 0.618 fib from here down to there, sitting right above it. That's why this was kind of the target for this push. What did surprise me is he freaking sold off like what, $7? Yeah, $7 in one day after hitting that. But, you know, at the end of the day, this is probably going to be bought up. You're now above the short-term moving averages. If it's not bought up, that's not a good look. If you get back under like 165, that's not a good look. Probably are going to sell into those earnings and then maybe get a pop off those earnings. Maybe we get another opportunity over here. We'll see. Okay. You bounced right back from the spot that we were paying attention to over here. All right. I think it was 34, like 80 or something like that. We're not going to change it. But, you know, you could see every time you hit down here, you were getting your bounces for years. Okay. For years and years and years. By that, I mean 1.3 years. Not more than 1 year. Not more than 2 years. So not years. 1.3 year. Okay. Regardless. Don't mind my gibberish. I'm bullish on Avgo over here. I think you are going to end up seeing this bought up. But, you know, I'm going to take the rest off if we get a gap up tomorrow. I took, you know, most of it off right up here around the high today. But, you know, I didn't think you were going to fade like this. I really did not. I thought I was taking my profits early there like I normally do. Okay, like over here on Mr. TSM. Again, just in a key spot to pull back over here, guys. You are, you know, in the golden pocket now. We were saying, you know, 200 to 205 probably incoming over coming trading sessions in the short term. We're now here. Okay. I could very clearly see something like this happening. All right. You pull back, test this key spot at 193.47. You can see a bunch of reactions, guys. Previous all-time high over here. Reaction, reaction, reaction. A bunch in here. Reaction. Okay. Reaction, reaction. It wouldn't surprise me to pull back into that. You're going to have these short-term moving averages sitting right below too. It would kind of be picture perfect if you did that and then continue higher after that. Picture perfect. All right. And it would be healthy. And then you also have this right here. So do this info what you will. Just calling it like I see it. ARM, guys, this is one that's just going golden pocket to golden pocket right here. You love to see it. What I like, though, is you made this higher high above this 142.24 level. Why do I think that's, you know, relatively significant? You have an ugly double bottom. All right, typically, guys, when we see this play out here, even if it pulls back here, maybe pulls back to, you know, 137.29. You have the short-term moving averages right here, 21 and 9. All right, maybe you get bought up to, you know, 147. But, you know, you just take the measure move of that from here up to here. I always take the shorter leg right there just to be conservative there. You know, this thing's going up to 155. Okay. I can see it happening. Can you see it happen? Let me know. Let me know down below. But, you know, 154, 155, whatever it may be. I do think after this dip, you go higher. And that's why I think, if we do get this pullback, I'm bullish on it. We have a bunch of things that are starting to heat up over here. MU guys, all right, you broke that trend line there. You got a little rejection action yesterday, but guess what? You closed out the high today. And honestly, I have to assume this thing start gonna, it's gonna start catching a bit over here. 105.09 and 106.77 probably incoming in the short term. And that is that. AMD, now this is the one I want to direct your attention to. It's finally waking up. The little troll over here is finally, peekabooing over 142.80 over here. Same concept like I just showed you, except this is, really just relatively nice double bottom look to it, okay? You have now consolidated underneath it there for, one and part of a trading session over there, and now you're putting a hammer off of it, off of increasing volume. I really like the look of this thing. As you see, in between here and here, you have like kind of nothing. Okay, there's this mess going on there. I think, over the coming 1 to 2 weeks, we can definitely see this move up to 150.52. That's what I'm going to be watching for, and that is what I'm playing. I like AMD. All right. Bitcoin, guys, we are pushing the highs again. 99.8K is the current all-time high. You stalled out right before 100K. Guys, I do think this is going to be tested. I do think it wants to test that. It wants to break over it. And over here, we have a lot of these things heating up. All right, a bunch of bullish action. I called this out the other day. All right, I didn't cover Bitcoin stocks in the last video. All right, but in the weekly update, I think we covered these. Regardless, you have Riot setting up over here, right at this, long-term downtrend, right there at the trend line, long-term trend line, we'll call it. With all of your touch points, consolidating right over the weekly 9 over here on the trend line, right under your resistance, 1309, pop above 1309. I think you're probably going to get a, shot up here to 1587, previous high right here, and then probably 1824. PLSK, same look, guys. All right, golden pocket to golden pocket. We got that action on a lot of these guys right now. But, it's looking like it wants to heat up here. You clearly do have this kind of bull flag looking setup here on, or bull pennant, I guess we'll call it, after this little extension move to the upside. Consolidation for a few weeks. And then on the weekly chart, you clearly see that's bullish consolidation off of the weekly 21 and the 9 over there. And your break and retest and your 0.618 fib. This thing's kind of set up perfectly. I think if Bitcoin, starts pushing above 100K, I think this thing probably is going to take right up to 1797. I'm going to be sitting out these guys this time around. I think, there's better stuff to focus on, and I'm having myself a blast. Not touching these guys, and, in case Bitcoin does want to get right above 100K and then sell off from there, I don't want to be caught holding that. But, I really do think these things are setting up. It's looking, immaculate on some of these things right here. Mara, I point this one out as, a focus. If you're going to be playing this move over here, I think it's probably going to be, moving well with Bitcoin, considering it has just broken out from this weekly bull flag. And, it's clearly respecting this trend line. It wants to run. Okay, so I think 30 can be tested on this, and then potentially 3409, and then 4078. Coin, I think it's probably time over here. Consolidated. I was pointing this out. I think I pointed out over on Twitter. You're consolidating in this bullish manner right above the previous high in this like little flag looking thing. And above 30, 3170. Guys, you're probably going to pop up pretty quick to 368.90. That's from right over here. That's your high from over there. And then above there, you have the all-time high at 429.54. And that's kind of pretty crazy that we're talking about that right now. But I think this is probably going to be moving very well with Bitcoin. MSTR over here, guys, is popping up. You get this little downtrend action going on right there. I'm just going to draw it with the drawing tool instead of the trend line because it's kind of planted. We'll draw a curved one, guys. Look at that. Look at that. Perfect. All right. No, in reality, something like that. You come over actually to the hourly, and you can see it. You're popping above it right now. All right. You're popping above it. Okay, you had that consolidation. I do think this is probably going to be heading up to 453 if Bitcoin pushes 100K. And then maybe it's going to start running up to the all-time high at 543. All right. You haven't tested the 21 this whole freaking run from here up till here. 2 months right there. 300%. You have not tested it. almost tested it here, almost tested here, almost tested it here, but you have not tested it. So chances are you're probably not going to test it this time either and start running back up. Another leg up and coming? I don't know. I'm not going to be touching it, but it does look like that is on the table from this point. Okay, if you see a move above there, above 417.62, probably you're going to have a short-term move up to 453. And then above there, you're watching up here at 543. All right, cost, I gave you a little, little setup to watch out for over there. Above 976.30 is probably going to be pushing towards 1,000. All right, well, you are getting that little gap down in the after hours here. Okay, but as you can see, this is well on its way to 1,000 over there. I think that cycle level is incoming. You have earnings right around the corner, so I wouldn't really be chasing it, but that's a little short-term momentum trade if you played some. There you go. A little update on Roblox, pushing up towards 55.10, just grinding higher, guys. Not looking too bad. You guys clear as they see the setup. Same thing I'm seeing right here. Okay. Next one I'll put on your radar here. Rivian, guys. I think you're just consolidating here before another move up. Right above the 9, right above our 1184 level. Consolidating right around it. Liking how this looks. Get above 1310. You got nothing until 1472. And you probably see a quick move up 1472 up to 1530. All right, that's where I'd be watching over there. You guys, you did hit target number 1 out of 2. I'm looking for 2713 and then 3092 over here. I did exit this guy. But, you can see daily RSI is now overbought. I won't be surprised to see another move up. But at the same time, I think, a cool down over here would not be bad. And then you continue higher after that. Okay. But, on the weekly chart, we knew this was probably setting up for this. So there's that. Close out like this. It's not looking bad at all. All right, guys. So that's what I'm going to conclude it at today. I hope everybody had a lovely day. I appreciate your time. Appreciate, you guys watching these videos. I do. And I really hope you guys are making money off this. Okay. I do hope you guys are making a killing out there. And even if you're not making a killing out there, I hope you're learning. Okay. Because that is the most important point. And I can promise, you don't have to be making money right now. But if you're working towards something, if you are working and improving that skill set, okay, give it a few years, you're going to become a money printer. And then once you establish the skill set, all right, yeah, you're going to have to refine it every now and then. But in reality, you're going to see things a certain way, and you're always going to be able to turn money into more money. And that is the goal. That is the ultimate goal that we're all working towards or doing consistently. And, I think that's a great thing. So pat yourself on the back. I'm going to hit this for all of us.
That was easy.
There we go. Just know that you're doing the right thing. All right. Most people do not put their time towards something that stacks up like that. And this is a life-changing skill set. I firmly believe it. And, when you can go to work and you pull, 3 to 4 G's out of the freaking market in one day, you feel like the fucking man. And, in reality, that's going to keep going up and up and up. And that's about it, guys. That's kind of the name of the game over here. And, I hope you guys are having a good time. Okay? Little bonus guy over here. Ark, guys. You are pushing, moving, and grooving. Bullish on that pullback over there. You did take out that 60.42 level. Now you have tested up there. Not 60.42. 58.38. The high over here. And above you tested our next level over there. I did say 63.25 is probably incoming over the coming weeks. And then maybe over the coming months, 71.38. I think we got a market that's hot right now, guys. People are calling tops and stuff. I'm going to call it how I see it. I hope you guys see it that way. I'm not just, telling people to throw darts blindly at the dartboard. A lot of things are going up, but in reality, we timed the living crap of this market, and I hope you guys are doing it with me. But again, just stay on the cautious side. I know you guys are up big if you're doing what we're doing over here, what we're talking about over the last few trading sessions. Okay, you're making a killing already. Don't be a greedy little pig. Don't take that the wrong way, but don't be a greedy little pig. Okay. And with that being said, appreciate y'all. Love y'all. Catch y'all in the next one. Peace.